billionaire businessman Elon Musk has accused Twitter of what he calls misleading statements over fake accounts. The latest move has collapsed a $44 billion deal to buy the social media giant. Musk's lawyers have sent a letter to Twitter indicating his right to terminate the merger agreement and abandon the transaction. Now, joining us to make sense of these developments is Bryan Turner, data analyst at Worldwide Works. Bryan, a very good evening to you. The world's richest man has used a chunk of his fortune to buy into Twitter, and now he wants absolutely nothing to do with it. What happened?
Good evening. The biggest point that Musk and Musk lawyers are saying is that he doesn't want to carry on with the deal with the state that Twitter is in right now. So he talks about the bots on the platform, and he also talks about the fact that the organization didn't remain the same. So there were a few kind of reshuffling of employees, and some employees were let go. So those two terms are what he's hoping will get him out of the agreement.
So what has Twitter's response been to this?
Well, they say no because they have a signed and locked deal. But generally what happens with these kinds of issues is, especially when they land in Delaware courts, they are kind of settled. So usually they might bring down the price so that the acquisition does go through, or they say to the person who was acquiring it, in this case Elon Musk, they say, well, because of the kind of reputational and social kind of ramifications of you saying you're buying the platform, give us a figure and then you walk away.
So he also faces a lawsuit because Twitter's accused him of pushing down its stock price. I mean, that also is, even further woes in this legal back and forth.
That's correct. So conversely, when Musk announced that he was planning to make an offer, it drove up the share price of Twitter by more than we've seen in recent times. And now that he said that he doesn't want to go through with it anymore, it dropped slightly, but not as much as when he said he was going to buy it.
So what sort of impact does this have on both Twitter and Elon Musk's credibility as a businessman going into a deal without really doing the proper homework?
So the big thing from this is that these kinds of mergers and acquisitions rather acquisitions that a lot of companies go into, it's quite regular for people to walk away from them. And it used to be quite a frequent act that used to be done in the U.S. But now that contracts are quite airtight, it's become quite a lot more difficult for acquisition players to walk away. So it's going to be a very interesting, will he or will he not go through with its saga, and the saga is going to continue. So it really just depends on how much Twitter is going to be aggressive with this lawsuit, and how much Elon Musk wants to put enough time into this.
So Tesla has also been affected by this. I mean, there have been concerns also around his focus on Twitter, which is now impacting his other business.
Oh, that's correct, because he has several touch points. Because he has a stake in Tesla, and he has now a potential stake in Twitter. Those two are kind of seen as hand in hand, because he, as a player of kind of the scheme of things, he kind of has this. He has a way of affecting both sides. So because of his interests on one side will affect another, he needs to really play it a lot more carefully than he is right now. But the thing is, there's always an ulterior motive behind this. So whether this be to put his image in the top of people's minds, to keep this Twitter saga going on, to do something interesting with Tesla stock, it's really kind of a game that we don't really know at this point in time.
Yeah. I mean, for so many questions, not many answers at this stage. Thank you so much, Worldwide Works data analyst Bryan Turner, speaking to the world's richest man using a chunk of his money to buy Twitter, and now he could be backing out. It's a story to watch.